How are we doing today, folks? As one said, my name is Jabbar Magruder. I'm a member of Iraq Veterans Against the War. I actually came down from Boston. I meant to be here earlier, but you know, catching those Chinatown buses can be quite dangerous, you know, this time of day. But I want to say, especially looking across this room, I want to thank all of you for being here, because this is where it's going to happen. This is where change is going to happen. Because, like the brother who came up before me said, that change is not going to come with a vote. Change is going to come when we actually do something about it. All right? Because myself, I've served 8 years in the Army National Guard. I went to Iraq in 2005. When I got back from that deployment, I looked around and was like, you know what? Something's got to change here. Because I went to Iraq, I served my country, and I was supposed to be fighting the enemy, quote unquote the enemy. But I came back with this feeling like, you know what? I'm looking around and I'm supposed to be defending against the Constitution, against enemies, both foreign and domestic. And when I look at the White House, and when I saw the White House, I said, you know what? This is the number one enemy of the Constitution right here, right now. And so, I'm actually glad I ran into this gentleman. I can't remember his name at the moment, but I actually met him 2 years ago when I went to the steps of Congress with the appeal for redress with cousin of a gentleman by the name of Jonathan Huddle and Liam Madden. And I still had 2 years on my National Guard contract, and I went in front of the steps of Congress with the appeal for redress, which stated that we owe that we are as a proud citizen, certainly proud to serve my nation. Fully aware that a military solution will not work, and that we need to withdraw our forces from Iraq. And from that moment, I became the target of my chain of command. Beforehand, I've been very quiet about my anti-war activities, very quiet about what I was doing, and luckily, I had a very supportive first sergeant because my first sergeant saw me as a worker and as a sergeant rather than as a thorn on the side. A lot of my friends who did the same thing actually received a lot of non-judicial punishment. They received a lot of the background and stuff. So when you guys leave here today, and especially if you guys are interested in working with veterans, you have to understand that we come from we come from the same place, but we also have a lot of other things to deal with, especially with issues of return, and especially coming back home, to the world. Because I remember when I first got back, it was, like sunshine and rainbows, candy canes and lollipops, all up until the honeymoon was over. When the honeymoon was over, a lot of these folks are dealing with their issues of post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of these folks are dealing with the fact that they can't find jobs because the military only train them to be either killers, or if you don't want to take that hard look at it, they train them just to do what the military wanted. For instance, I was a Black Hawk helicopter mechanic. I can't go work on helicopters right now if I wanted to. I have a degree in biomedical physics, but I can't work on helicopters because the Army did not give me certificates to work on that. What's that all about? Yeah, I could use a job right now. I could use a job working on helicopters. It's a great job. But I can't do that because that's the way the Army's set up. It's the way the system is set up. And so, especially the youth out there, I'm very proud to see so many young people here today. And this is what we need to go. We need to reach out to these young folks, but you know what? But the young folks need to step up now. It's time, because as of right now, it's like, we keep seeing the same folks over and over again. And the one thing that I will give to MTV and the I.V.A.W is that they made it appear that it was cool to do something. And that's what we need to do. We need to do something. We need to stop talking about it. We need to stop, patting ourselves on the back and actually do something about it. And that could mean, well, a lot of people are talking about sanctuary. One of the easiest things you can do is help give these veterans jobs and actually give them an alternative to to this military lifestyle, and with the youth, keep them out in the first place. Let them understand that they have opportunities other than just serve their nation in this way. They can serve their nations in other ways. So now, with what I'm doing, and the reason why I'm here is because I'm a member of the GI outreach team. With my years of experience being a veteran and being actively in an anti-war organization while serving, I understand what a lot of these veterans who are returning and want to say something about the war, what is going on with them now. And now we need to make sure that we reach out to these folks, because they're there. These veterans are there. It's just that you have to make sure that you can't just approach them with, isn't the war bad, should you be against it? Because for them, they're like, yeah, the war's bad, but I've got friends up there. This is my job. This is what I do. And the answers have to go a lot deeper than just, aren't you, why aren't you against it? They have to be, understand that you have to support the person as a whole and support these veterans when they're coming back. Because the one thing that really perturbed me throughout this anti-war travels that I've been on is still finding the folks that are going, you know what, the reason why I'm not against the war is because I'm supporting the troops. What do you mean you're supporting the troops? You mean you're supporting them being away from their families for 15 months at a time because the Army can't find enough people in order to keep up this silly occupation in Iraq? You mean you're for actually bringing these folks home and make them more potentially being jobless and putting them out of work because you want to support a president because he said that the reason why we're here is for these troops? That's crap. Yeah. All right. So now, with that being said, I want to thank you all for being here, and I want to make sure that we can do something going forward from this. And I'm looking forward to talking to the young people so that we can put our heads together and actually do something about this. So just talk about it. All right.